Welcome, listeners, to another captivating episode of Coffee with Convery, where we unravel the intricate tapestry of school, work, and life transitions and transformations. Today, our focus is on the dynamic realms of HR, recruitment, and career insights, and we're privileged to have a remarkable guest in our midst, Syed Ahmed. Syed is a graduate of TMU, Toronto Metropolitan University, with a bachelor degree economics and finance. Syed transcends the conventional recruiting role. He is the head of operations at AroundHI Solutions, orchestrating the deployment of top tech talents globally, from ERP to hyperscaler domains. With a robust track record spanning over 6 years, Syed has been the driving force behind connecting high-powered growth companies and Fortune 500 brands with the perfect blend of technical and non-technical expertise. What truly distinguishes Syed is his unwavering dedication to giving back. As a fellow Canadian immigrant, his passion lies in aiding newcomers and immigrants in discovering meaningful careers within Canada. Over the past 6 years, he's had the honor of guiding over 1,000 individuals on their career journeys, showcasing that the impact of his work transcends the confines of the business world. He currently is serving as an entrepreneur in residence at Ontario Tech University, and Syed actively contributes to the Brilliant Catalyst program, offering value advice to Brilliant Catalyst team, student entrepreneurs, and faculty members seeking to propel their ideas forward. From judging pitch competitions to assisting new entrepreneurs with sales, HR, and product management, Syed is deeply engaged in nurturing the next generation of talent. Syed, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you. Great having me on the podcast and a wonderful introduction. Can't say much. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it. Really want to engage with the audience today and give my best bit. So hopefully they can learn and get ahead in their life, whatever their goals and passions are.
Well, with you on, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of note taking and a lot of interesting things they're going to learn from you because you have been such a passionate guy putting all your time and effort into this. So let's do a few first rapid fire questions so the audience gets to know you better, and then we'll jump right in. What are your pronouns?
Him, he,
Okay. And what's your superpower?
superpower. That's interesting. I would say emotional intelligence. That's one thing that gives me the ability to, um, as a recruiter, that's like a superpower that you need. So I would say, I would say that 100% emotional intelligence is something I am cherished with, and I feel like it's in. It was in my. I mean, my mother has it a lot, and I got it from her. I feel like, and it just. I learned from her how to kind of like understand people and kind of help them out. So
That's
that's why I
amazing.
took the recruiter role as well.
Yeah, amazing. It's so needed in so many aspects of our lives. Someone with that's emotional intelligence. What is your favorite smell?
Favorite smell, I would say musk. It's like oud. I don't know how in
Yeah.
European countries that kind of smell I love. Yeah, that would be my favorite.
Okay, awesome. And what's the best compliment you've ever received?
Best compliment. I mean, my son always called me I'm the best dad, so that's one of I think that hits me the best. But in
I think
profession,
that's good. That's a good one.
because I work hard to be the best dad. So other than that, in professional setting, it's been a lot of cases where candidates didn't feel right that they're good fit for the role, but I convinced them because I knew their personalities in a way that they were not able to judge themselves. And once they get into a role, they always thank me later. That's the most like the amazing thing. The best compliment for me is that when they are not seeing that this could be right fit, but I try to because what I do for a living, I kind of read them in better way. So yeah, in work setting, that would be like a best compliment. Even
Awesome.
this last year, someone called me and Boxing Day or holidays, Christmas time. He just wanted to thank me. Oh, thank you for taking a coffee meetup and changing my mind. This role is the best role ever, this and that. So that makes my day, that because I work hard to do that for them.
Yeah,
So
you're
yeah.
impacting lives for sure. So we all have sort of guilty pleasures or favorite snack. What is your favorite snack?
Cherries. I don't know if it's
Cherries,
unhealthy.
that's
Yeah,
healthy.
I love cherries. Even right now, I finished like a bowl of cherries. So my wife always gets mad because too much, but I don't know why. I love cherries.
Cherries. I think you are definitely my first cherry snacker.
Yeah.
Awesome. What was your favorite subject in school?
I would say geography. Like I'm always
Okay.
interested in countries and locations and all that stuff. So yeah, geography. History is second, but geography will be first.
Okay. And then starting out somewhere, we all start with our first job. What was your very first job that you did?
My first was door-to-door salesman for Toronto Star. So I would go in the neighborhood. They gave me a pitch to read, and I would just sell this membership or subscription for Toronto Star. Yeah, I was
Oh,
not, but that was my first.
learned to how to work with customers and
Uh,
doors opening, and wow, that's a good one. If you had to pick one word to describe yourself, what would you say?
I would say student. Like I still consider learning. I love have a thirst for knowledge in different fields. So whenever someone asks me this type of question, I prefer to that fits me right. Like because I just
Lifetime
like
learner.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love learning different stuff. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. That's awesome. All right, let's jump in. So I know this audience is going to be eager, sitting on the edge here, hoping they're going to learn some new things to do when they look for those jobs, in case you're not their recruiter. But take us back to a time where you were graduating, looking for your first opportunity in the working world. And I know also being an immigrant as well, like share a little bit about the journey and any advice to those career seekers looking now for a job and a career. So, but take us back a bit to how it all started.
Yeah, no, this is it's way back now. I mean, not too like almost 7 years ago. So, I mean, for me, during my time at TMU in my program, they had internship, but at the same time, it was really competitive program. So we had to kind of like work on mostly they would help you, but you have to work on your own to find the internship as well. So for me, in order to get first professional role, I had to be open to unpaid internships and all that stuff. So my first unpaid internship was at Investors Group. Now it's renamed as IG, I think, IG Wealth Management. It's still Investors Group, but they changed the logo and whatnot. But that was my first unpaid internship. And then from there on, I started getting into different roles. And then I chose entrepreneurship route after my last role at Garda, which was at their facility at the airport. So from there, I was managing the screening officers when you go travel different places, those screening officers, I was in charge to kind of like fire them and performance reports and all that stuff. But in order to the first job, which I told you was just door-to-door salesman, as a newcomer and immigrant, I feel like that's really crucial. You have to sharpen your communication skills.
Mhm.
And best place is, is to do like roles which they are pressing you to speak and talk and restaurants and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, those were my first roles. In terms of the advice for new people or new candidates entering the job market, I would say like right now it's very difficult that's why because I'm in this game and I'm also getting a lot of feedback on the ground with people, they're finding a lot of difficulty to get a role. Part of it is also job market, but part of it also the strategy the folks are using, which I feel like that could be improved. Like the, they are. I feel like we're so used to instant gratification. We just want to click a button and get a result type of stuff, which nowadays
Mm.
it's more difficult to do. So I always tell people you have to be open to. I know it's difficult, but again, you have to be open to unpaid roles to get some sort of experience, some sort of, you have to be open to a little bit more of a hustle. If you're not, like, if you have good scores and good academic standing, then you should be solid in getting into co-op programs. But I'm talking about the 80% other side of the market,
Yeah.
which is not. doing so well and they're not getting too good. I mean, they're getting good grades, but not A pluses and, not the best of the best. For them, you have to have the hustle mindset. You have to go out there, and we'll dive into more as we go more into these
Sure.
questions. But the strategy has to be changed, and they have to be open to being going out there and getting, even if they have to get unpaid role, they should be open to that.
Absolutely. I think some great advice and insights there. And, sometimes as we get into it, we'll talk a little bit more about some people actually have to hit the ground with a paying job, but sometimes also looking at those experiences, volunteering and other things that you can pick up and help yourself out. That's good too. I noticed at TMU you were also heavily involved with soccer, kickboxing, the Pakistani Student Association and Tri-Mentoring program. For students that are in school and thinking about these extracurriculars, how did they help impact your time, and what kind of skills did you learn from being involved in that during your academic time?
Oh, they help big time, especially for me. And reason for that is school itself is stressful. You have courses, deadline, and all that stuff. So I joined these organizations very strategically. So I didn't join them out of the like I'm just gonna join random organization. So soccer and kickboxing. Kickboxing was the only martial arts that was available. I love martial arts, so I had to join something along those lines. Soccer, I grew up in Saudi, so it's soccer is like they live and breathe soccer there. So soccer is my second passion. So that was something out of the enjoyment, but it helps with the schooling and academic as well because first is your stress level goes down. Let's say you busy with school, exam, all this stuff causes a lot of stress. You play sports, it helps you unravel that. And second is networking. You meet a lot of people here that you won't meet in your program, and because you're meeting every week, the networking is a different level because you become a team. You know these people for a long term. Like I still know some of the folks that I met in these programs that are working for different roles, and now I can work with them to sell my services because they're in the decision-making roles now that we can
Yeah,
work in a way that, we can add value. So if you're looking for a job down the line, they can help you or you can help them, that kind of stuff. And other tri-mentoring and Pakistani Association, all this was more of like a networking in a professional setting because
good.
tri-mentoring helped me a lot with first I was a mentee, then became a mentor. So you kind of like learn from other people. And Pakistani Student Association is more of in your community, you want to find more people. And again, same type of networking strategy, but this is something. It's the turf that you know of, when you're a newcomer and all that stuff, and you build on that. So that was my. But for new kids, you have to have a strategy to join these clubs, and sports is mostly to network and enjoy life because school is always hard, so you need to do these type of activities, and clubs are there for you to build connections that you won't build. You will build in your classes, but why not multiply it, right? If you have
Yeah,
time, the best time,
absolutely.
everyone going through the same phase, same problems. Best time to build. You will once you graduate, it only gets harder. You can't have you can have one-off coffee chats and this and that, but it's not the same,
Take full advantage of it while you got it there, right? Like, I totally agree. That's so cool. I am, and it's a good insights to take away for our listeners too, about, spend a bit of time because it just, like you said, triples up your networks and, gives you opportunities to, you all need balance, right? In sports and athletics and keeping healthy, right? Helps out. So I wanted to ask you about the ever so rapidly evolving tech industry. What advice do you have for job seekers looking to navigate this dynamic landscape and how to even stand out in this competitive market?
And like I always talk to them about, I mean, this strategy I've been deploying it internally. I call it the star. It's
Yeah.
because it's easy to remember for me and them. Um,
Can you talk about the star, like what that
yes, of
means?
course,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the
Great.
and
Thank
why behind this is because the job seekers need to understand companies invest multi-million budget a year to invest in analytics tool, psychometric tool, just to understand you. And job seekers invest in little and no time. They just apply, apply, apply. They don't understand the company and study them. So STAR methodology, which I deploy with whoever needs help, starts with study the company. So S is for study. You make a list of 10, 20, 15, whatever you can, like the companies you want to work for. Like these are the places I love, and these are their mission, their the industry that they're in. Like all that kind of stuff. You have to think, sit down, make an Excel sheet about these type of companies, and then study them, meaning like LinkedIn is the best tool. Look at the list of their employees, look how these guys got in there, look what their journeys are like. Even if you do 3 to 5 profiles, you have an idea, oh, this person graduated from here, then they did this, then they did that. So how far are you? Because the HR department will look for someone similar who can assimilate with that culture. They cannot find something, an outlier that completely, they would sometime here and there, but 9 out of 10, they want someone cultural fit. So you want to see if you're in that kind of category, or at least tailor your own to then the second part comes in, which is the T part, as the from the star, which is tailoring your presence on your resume and online. So your LinkedIn presence should show them like you're one of them or potential one of them, like sharing article. Let's say you're interested in oil and gas industry, so current affairs and oil and gas industry. Oh, this company invested multi-million dollars in this project. Like there are tons of content out there that you would enjoy in the industry, and you can kind of like have that present on Twitter, on whichever content you like. If you're more of a video type of person, get on YouTube. If you're more of a um, written type content, get on LinkedIn, but have some momentum on that part. So once someone is reaching out to you, kind of go around. And then A is for obviously applying. Then you are in a better position to apply for roles within those persona of companies. And then R is for repeat. You just keep doing it, and you optimize the process, and eventually you will get the results. So this is the strategy I always give to not just newcomers, always even the current people who are in the market, because I feel like the not a lot of people are studying the companies they're applying for,
Yeah.
and nowadays it's tough market. You have to put in work, because on the other side there are so many tools to see how you talk. There's, if you're on video, they have tools that can assess your mood and this and that, and you're here sitting just thinking I'm gonna apply, and you will get the role. So you have to work hard to get in, and once you're in, then the world is yours. But this type of work is needed at the start, especially.
Great, great insights and advice. Thank you. I think, yeah, the idea of just applying and hope someone's going to discover you is pretty bad as far as a strategy, because you got to put some work in, like you said. It takes work to get work, right? So no, thank you so much for sharing that. It's a good. And the other thing I want to talk about, complementing that, is networking. And I know it is crucial in the job search process. And leveraging network opportunities, enhancing your visibility, and increasing your chances of securing desirable positions is obviously one reason that you want to try to network. But other ideas around why you think networking is crucial for job seekers?
Yeah, 100%. Networking is what will give the fuel to all this approach. So if, let's say, a motherboard is all this technique, you put circuits here and there, the electricity is going to be the networking that's going to go through the motherboard and light it up. So that's how I think of networking.
Good
And
visual.
yeah, and the way I feel like people don't understand networking. Again, it's a long game. It's not instant gratification game. You go one event, you find HR, head of HR, you're gonna get into that role. Maybe it's gonna happen, good for you, but 9 out of 10, very long game. Networking is a mirror you look into. You want to fix yourself. You go to first is a quantity game. It's 100%. You have to show up to it. Don't think twice on, oh, this event will give me this. Just show up. All your job is to show up and practice your pitches, practice how you deliver, how do you communicate with, you think you're gonna do well in an interview, but interview comes and you're nervous and you're shaking this and that because you haven't practiced enough. You're not there yet. So you have to go to these events and practice networking essentially. How do you someone you walk in within 3 seconds, they should be at least connected to you. You know, if they don't like you, unfortunately, that's how humans are. It doesn't matter how strong technically you are. If you're not, your aura and your energies are not there, they'll be instant turn off. They're not gonna attend to you. So networking teaches you that kind of game. So at the start, I feel like it's a quantity game. You brush up your skills, you get better at communication. Once you feel like you got it, then switch to quality game. Then attend the events that you feel like, okay, this is gonna be the quality audiences here, the top industry leaders are here. Then the results will start coming. But it's a very long game. You meet someone last year, the results might come this year. Like, they might, and
Very true.
always like, don't waste your events. A lot of people show up to events and then don't do anything after. For example, I'm meeting you today. I'm gonna obviously my intention is to keep a relationship with you. I'll connect with. I mean, we are already connected on LinkedIn, but communicating here and there. Hey, Brian, how's it going? How's
Yeah.
things going? Congratulations on this new milestone. Back and forth, because we never know how we might add value to each other down the line. So I cannot let this opportunity go, and just be like, hey, Brian, nice to see you. Bye bye. And then, cut off, because you have to stay connected and stay on top of the game, and then person will remember you. It's all that kind of stuff. So that's why it's so crucial to network, just to add flavor to your job search strategy. Without that, it's just, there's no salt and pepper. It's just it's just you're just doing random stuff. So that's why I feel like
It's true.
different industries, but nowadays I feel like networking is all across. Some people used to say back in the day, if you're technical, you don't need it. You just need to be good at coding. And that thing is gone. You have to be good because now AI is coming. He can write the code.
That's
So
right.
so how are you gonna differentiate yourself? So
Yeah.
that
Some
that
really, really solid advice. Oh my gosh, like this is perfect. I'm assuming our listeners are just leaning into this because everything you said is so critical and crucial and thinking outside of just that application or just meeting someone and then not doing anything with that relationship. You got to nurture it like you do other things. Um, I also love something you said. You said that if you lack three traits, don't bother to be in recruiting. Desire to help others selflessly, high emotional intelligence, and resilience and adaptability. I'd love for you to talk more about that because I've had a lot of people, and you probably have too, people even expressing, well, I want to get in recruiting. It looks fun and glamorous and exciting, right? And it is at times. But what has surprised you most about getting into recruitment in the world of talent acquisition?
yeah, a lot of things have like, once I got into recruitment, honestly, I didn't like it. So I'll tell you honestly, because it comes with a lot of a burden of other people's life. In a way, you're not a doctor, you're not saving life, but in a sense, the career decisions, like this is some people come, they have family, 2 kids, 3 kids, they're relying on you to, oh, it was this. There's so much pressure on you to do well for them because this is their livelihood that you're playing with. In a sense,
Yeah.
any advice that you give, they take it really seriously. They make decision on that. But over time, I got to learn my own superpowers, which was like, okay, if I excel at one thing, which is this, which is something I can give back in a way that people would get help from, because my nature is, since young days, I like helping people helplessly rather than asking anything in return, just for the
Mm.
sake of helping out for a bigger purpose. So these, when I was boiling down the traits of recruitment, I came across these three, one that could be the most crucial ones. That's why in this when I spoke about this, that was my intention. And people who are coming new, because I see a lot of recruiters or aspiring recruiters who, again, they would come in because, oh, you can make a decision of hiring. It's very, it's a role that people aspire to be because of the power it gives you, because you're hiring and firing and all that kind of stuff. But they don't understand that if you don't have these traits, then it gets difficult, because it's this game. A lot of time you meet candidates or you meet clients that your effort might go sort of like wasted in a way, because
Mhm.
things didn't work out, the role didn't get filled, the candidate lost the job or didn't accept the offer, went somewhere else last minute. So it happens every day in recruitment. So if you're not built for, if you don't have this desire, okay, let me help you out other way. Because let's say you have candidate A applying for candidate company A, this candidate last minute pulls out and give different offer to different client. Now you have to face this client, say, oh, this person has gone and blah. You have to cover up, in a nice way, and then you have to still help him out with the other client of yours, or could be somewhere else. So these type of things that happen every day, you have to be really selfless. You cannot lose, you cannot be mad at someone for choosing one or the other. So this is just a small example. It gets more difficult than that, but just for the audience, just want to simplify it. So these type of attributes are crucial if you're getting into recruitment, in my opinion, because of the nature and the day-to-day operations of recruitment that you face when you're doing such role.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think those traits are absolutely important in pursuing a job and or career in recruiting. It's really it's really tiresome at times. It's really difficult at times. But like you said, it can be so rewarding as well when you have help people. Um, Something you probably get asked a lot, and I know this answer varies based on people, and there's stats out there of how long people spend on looking at a candidate's resume, but not everyone is the same. When you look at a resume, how long do you spend, and what do you actually look at for in a candidate beyond just the resume?
Um, for me, resume more like I won't say maybe less than 10 seconds.
Yeah.
First glance of my resume would be that. Main thing for me, resume, like it just shows me how badly this person wants a job. Like, the technical skills and all that stuff, I have to either leverage my technical team to analyze that, or if it's like a non-technical role, we will talk more on the nuances of that role, more on the call or video
Hmm.
chat or meeting in person. But resumes or cover letter, these type of thing is just, hey, it should be speaking to me, hey, recruiter, I really want this job, because I see a lot of folks, they don't work on their resume, a lot of typos, not tailored, or copy pasting JDs on that, or you just see it's just huge turnoffs you see within 7, because we do that so much, like,
Yep.
we know, okay, this is not right. This information seem
Cut
copy
and
pasted
paste.
from,
Yeah.
yeah. It's an instant turnout within 7 to 10 seconds, or format is not right, or a lot of companies, they trick you. They say, and on the JD, mention this on the job, so they want to check your attention to detail. Mention this in a cover letter. It's not there. So within that, you're like, oh, this person is not credible, or not credible is the wrong word, but this person didn't,
Details.
yeah, didn't put in work to get a job. So we
Yeah.
just don't want this person. So that's what I look beyond the resume. And then in person or chat is where more you look for other skills to see if they're a good fit.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I've heard that 10 seconds, 6 seconds, whatever it is, and I think that that's why it has to be accurate and it
Yeah.
has to be at least confirming of things. And if it's a mess or whatever, you're starting off on the wrong foot, right? From that perspective. Um, okay, I know this is an area of your interest and passion is newcomers and immigrants. What challenges do you often see them facing in the job market? And maybe for someone listening to this today too, like what practical advice do you have for them maybe to try to overcome some of these challenges?
No, great question. This is one of my favorite topics because I've been through this journey. My dad was an immigrant, and so I seen that journey really closely. Um, the first thing is the mindset. A lot of newcomers, they need to understand that yes, they are traveling to a new country. Yes, there will be challenges. A lot of people, oh, this is, they come and they start with a negative mindset, or they're not, I won't say victim card, but similar to that kind of, I don't know what's another word could be, but it's a similar tone, like, oh, this is not right, or that's not right, or that thing, you're already defeated. Mentally, you accept it, that
The
you are,
defeat. Yeah.
yeah, this is nothing, there is nothing you can do. So for me, I honestly hate that approach. If you want to come to, and not just for me, if you're coming to Canada, you have to play offensive. You cannot play defensive. Hey, this is wrong, that's wrong. You have to see what's right. You have to see, why did you immigrate on the first place? There must be something wrong where you can. So come with a fresh mind. Yes, there will be challenges because you're completely entering a new dynamic. So for first thing is the mindset. Second thing is communication skills. So 9 out of 10. Again, this is my stats. I don't know if it's if it's gonna confirm on online or whatnot. But the people I deal with, they're not good at communication when they come from the different countries. So for me, for example, I wasn't good at, like, I started from English as a second language in high school and all that stuff. And my first thing was get a job. That's why I chose door-to-door salesman. Now dots might connect for you, because I'm like, I'm gonna get a role where it pushes me to just speak and deliver pitches. And the most hardest role you can ever get in as a newcomer for in the communication category was door-to-door salesman, because it's all commission based. Toronto Star is, they're like, okay, if you sell, then we're gonna give you something. There's no such reward. It's just you're walking door to door, and you're doing your job. So that's my number two thing. Like, you have to get a role where you have to be forced to use your communication skill, whether it be, even if you're an engineer, start with 6 months working in a restaurant
Mhm.
or retail store. It will be a 6 month boot camp, which, trust me, no other newcomer program can give you that. They'll give you all the courses, everything, which is good, amazing. You do that on the
Yeah.
side. You join all these employment centers, leverage them, because they teach you a lot. But practice, where are you gonna practice that? Join, get in a job in retail store. Within 2 shifts, you will get going. Customer is gonna get mad. You have to communicate this and that. And the second thing is culture. You will understand how day-to-day people live here. Because English, when you learn back home, and English where you speak, completely different. The speaking communication English is not the same. Like, when we're learning a formal English back home, it's
Yeah.
very formal. It's like what you see on TV and whatnot. But day-to-day interaction, when you go a job interview, they know, it clicks.
Yeah.
They go, oh, this person knows the cultural fit. 100%, let's get him on board or her on board. So a lot of newcomers fail on that. So that's my second thing, that you have to kind of like get into a role. And then obviously your professional skill set that you have to, that's on merit, that you can brush up your professional skills. So that's what people like. They miss the communication part. They focus heavily on professional part. Oh, I'm an engineer, so I'm gonna get another certification. I'm gonna get this certification. That waste of time. Unless you don't have good communication skill, you cannot sell yourself. This is all waste of time. You're just doing it to feel good about yourself. You still gonna, at the end of the day, you're gonna apply for a job. The other candidate who is local, he has the same, or he, she, whatever gender, has the certification, might push you back in the line. You're gonna get disappointed. So work on these key areas, and I think Canada would reward you in the best way. But if you don't do that, then it's gonna be, yeah, unfortunately, a difficult place for you to survive.
Now that's some great insightful and practical advice too. And I love the one too about the communication and to put yourself out there. It's the best boot camp you said is actually getting into it and actually doing it.
Yeah.
Right? I really think that's really great advice. So thinking about, curious about your thoughts, diversity inclusion, what does that mean to you as an individual?
I mean, it's very simple for me. Like, everyone deserves equal opportunity, regardless of gender, creed, religion, all these differences we have as human being. Whether the differences are yet, some are, we have decided that these are differences. Some we will continue to evolve as humans. We might find new differences. Whatever the case may be, I think we live any democratic country. Meritocracy is a foundation. We
Mhm.
remove meritocracy, we're gonna fail as a country. So DNI, all these initiatives, they have to protect the meritocracy. Anyone who's on merit, doesn't matter where they're coming from, gender, anything, doesn't matter. If they can do the work, they're the best at it, get them the job. So that's the simple word. That's for me, diversity and inclusion, and that would help everyone overall. So if you
Yeah.
can, yeah.
Yeah, and it brings new ideas and innovation, new perspectives. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on that. Well, we also know a big part of the job search journey is rejections, right? What advice do you have for job seekers turning rejections into learning opportunities? What ideas do you have around that? Because I know, especially if in one day you applied and the next day you get seven rejections from seven applications, you can be pretty down on your luck and not feel very positive. But what do you think about job seekers and how they can maybe think differently about that?
Yeah, for me, obviously, like a person experience a lot of rejection throughout the life, and obviously working with people, a lot of rejection I see on daily day-to-day basis. So basically, two types of rejection in job search. One is there is a better candidate than you. That's why I didn't select you. Second, you didn't put in work, you had some issue on your stuff, and then you got rejected. So you have to analyze the type of rejection. If you got seven rejection, which one does it fall into category? If you send the wrong resume, for me, when I was doing a job search, and I today even to job seekers, I tell them each job resume, each cover letter has to be tailored, and even the file name has to have the company name on it, and then you save that resume and cover letter into that folder with the job title, so you can trace back, okay, this job rejected me, this is a resume, you have ability to trace back where did you go wrong, basically. If you feel like you did your part, you tailored, you did all these steps, then it's a numbers game. Keep going, keep pushing, and rejections are sort of like a part of game where you have to kind of adopt and just move on but if there are issues on your resume, you learn, maybe you have done, again, it was not tailored right, or you haven't, your online presence is off, like you're saying something on LinkedIn but you're saying something on resume, like this type of
That's
stuff,
true.
you have to work on yourself, fix those issues, and then come in the arena again. But do not be demotivated, or these things will affect you mentally in a way, maybe. But I think you have to move forward, because you never know, maybe next try will get you in. There's always a next one. But
Yeah,
if you do not try, there are so many famous quotes around that, which you can find online. But if you don't try, you won't make a shot, type of stuff. So that thing is solely you have to keep going, but not just keep going, analyze where you went wrong. People,
yeah,
oh yeah, rejection, I gotta keep going, and they keep getting rejections because they're not they're not improving. There must be something wrong. That's why people are rejecting. Look into that. And if you're getting rejected and you're all done right, then get second opinion. Get someone senior who are in the industry nowadays. It's very easy. If you have a good presence on LinkedIn, you can have someone at least virtual meetup, or
yeah.
at least even like you can say, hey, can you check my LinkedIn out? Again, nurture a relationship, and you can get someone to give a second opinion, but don't give up and just be like, okay, this is not gonna work for me, type of stuff.
Absolutely. Great thoughts there. Thank you for sharing that. Um, I love that you're involved with Ontario Tech University and the Brilliant Catalyst program is very noteworthy. How has being a mentor helped you as well as helped those that you've mentored?
I mean, this program has been really crucial for me. I like just like I love giving back to newcomers and immigrant. Entrepreneur is my soft touch. Even for newcomers and immigrant, I always tell them, if you come to Canada, at least try entrepreneurship once before you do anything. At least try once. Be open to failure and whatnot, but try once. But anyway, so in this program, I meet a lot of smart people who not just they learn from me, I learn from them. They're constantly, because entrepreneurship is a game of new ideas, new visions, and innovation, always something new, and people are coming with fresh idea. That's the only, not only, but one of the few areas of society where the people are always thinking about future, a new thing, a new ideas, a new concept. So when you're connected to that, you get inspired. Like even though I've been doing this for 7 years, whenever I meet someone new, I'm like, holy, there's a new technology out there. This could have, if I was doing this, I would have done with, for example, AI. If I was building my first product, if AI was this mainstream back in the day, I could have worked in a different way, type of stuff. So meeting these type of folks, it helps me as well, but giving back to them is the best thing ever, because I made so many mistakes in this journey that I feel like if they If they don't, they will get ahead, and cut some corners in a way that they won't have to go through the struggle which I did. So that the feeling is always um, something good for me because of the nature that I like to help other in this way. Yeah, and then because program itself, you get connected to different folks in the school as well. So that's also in the area of networking helps everyone else and including me. So those are some things I feel like this the being here does not just for me but for people who are in this program. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
all
No, that's great. And I think the key thing I heard from you too there is, sometimes people that are in these programs being mentored don't realize that it's a mutually beneficial relationship and that you can learn as much from that other person, which you've highlighted, which I think is really important because learning comes from every angle, right? Not just top down, side to side, bottom up, everything. So, well, I love that you're doing that. It sounds really rewarding overall for you. Um, Wow, just a great conversation with you today, and thank you so much. Is there anything that you wanted to impart on maybe the listeners that I didn't get to or ask you today that you thought was important to highlight, or anything you wanted to talk about before we think to close out?
I mean, like I would say, especially for job people who are like I've been on the ground and I see people are struggling to get the job, especially last year and this year. A year before that, it was much easier. A lot of job offers and things were going, better during pandemic. It was companies were kind of like more struggling, but there was candidates were, especially in tech and certain industries, they're doing really well. So in those areas, I feel like today, even though it's hard, I just don't want people to, and I see a lot of negative content around um, people who are coming here, especially newcomer immigrants who are not liking, they think there are a lot of social crises and this and that in Canada that it's not gonna, they're not seeing their future. That's a message. If they're listening in this type of audience, I want to tell them like it might be a rough ride for now, but future is great. You
Yeah,
just have to stick around because obviously there are some challenges on the ground, but you have to do your bit into like finding a right strategy to apply for roles and which we have discussed throughout the podcast. But don't have negative mindset into doing such thing. Be positive. And I know it's hard to stay positive and your ability, you need to pay bills and whatnot. But we all been through that. Every immigrant or newcomer goes through this journey. You're not the first one, so don't feel like, you're
good
the special
advice.
case or anything. So everyone went through this, we made it, so you will make it as well. You just have to leverage the platform and you have to get the right strategy in touch. And same thing with the new students. I see them, they're complaining and this and that, feeling like they're the first one going through this. If, when I graduated, a lot of my friends didn't get a job for a year or 2 years. Like it's nothing new. Like get with the program. I just don't like this victim card that a lot of people play.
Yeah,
I know it's difficult, but you have to kind of like be offensive on these things
yeah,
and put in your work day to day, put in your work. And maybe start a side hustle. Like one of my friend, just
that's
started
good
selling
advice.
salt on to driveway, and like people living in his neighborhood, he started selling salt to them for winter, and they're buying bags of salt from him rather than going to a grocery store because of a convenience. So things like this you can do in Canada. If you think the right way, you can always find a way to do things, rather than just being negative and all that stuff. So that's what I want to share, which kind
It's
of
good.
irks my soul. So I'm just sharing, stay positive and work hard, and the world is yours. And this country has a lot to give. Don't think otherwise. So that's one thing.
Yeah, that is some really great advice. Thank you for that. I think I'm hearing a lot of the same now too. I think people are, it's also the time of year where it's still gray and things are not as sunny outside and all those things add up, right? But I think your idea of just remain positive. I love the side hustle idea because there is a lot of things out there. There's fractional work, there's things being posted, there's your friend who created a business based on a need. There's a lot that you can do in that space that can also, who knows, lead you wherever, right? So Well, Syed, it's been amazing catching up with you, and I know this is an interesting time for you from a personal perspective because you're also waiting for your second child to arrive. So by the time this airs, hopefully she will be here. But I also want to congratulate you on that and your wife as well. And thank you again for really taking time to share your thoughts, your wisdom, your ideas with our listeners. It's been really great to see you and much appreciated.
No, thank you, Brian, for your time. Thank you for having me. I hope my only wish is whatever we have discussed, audience learn from it and have some positive, at least 1% positive impact in the life that would make worthwhile. And if anyone wants to reach out, if they are listening, you can share my information with them.
Sure.
LinkedIn. I mean, when you post, obviously, you will share all that. So I'm very open to chat in these step. Whoever needs help, so they can simply message on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to help. A lot of these things I've been through. But I want to thank you as well, what you've been doing in early talent space. And one of the like I've been following you for a very long time, and I'm obviously learning from your. This is the first time we're meeting, but on your LinkedIn post, I've been learning a lot from you as well. So I thank you for all the effort
No,
you're.
thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's much appreciated. And I'm sure, like you said, we have a lot more to talk about after this podcast over the next little while. But so everyone, for the listeners here, if you liked what you heard today, please share this podcast with your network on Spotify. Give us a rating. You can also follow us at Coffee with Convery on Instagram to see all these featured episodes and what's coming. This has been Coffee with Convery, and until next time, please stay well.